Hi everyone, welcome back to the Web channel. My name is Zach. In this video, we're looking at the latest scoop on the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit. Let's jump straight into it. Eleanor Terrett writing out the scoop is, turns out even staff at the SEC Gov aren't confident that they will win the case against Ripple. A source close to the SEC tells me Hester Pierce has expressed privately that she thinks the SEC will not get the outcome it is looking for. With that being said, we even have Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO at Ripple, talking on Fox News. Let's hear what he has to say.
Appropriate activity.
Listen, it's the same with the U.S. dollar. Appropriate activity, inappropriate activity. Joining us now on the set, CEO of leading enterprise blockchain company Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse. Yes, of course, Ripple, related to XRP. Brad would know a thing or two about this, along with Charlie Gasparino.
I know nothing. He knows everything.
I know nothing. What do you make of what Powell said? He kind of gave it to both sides.
What did he say, though? Did he say anything?
It's not entirely clear. By the way, I do want to start by just saying that I and the team at Ripple feel so strongly about standing with the people of Ukraine, and I just want to put that out there.
Sure.
But my comment as I listen to some of the things I hear out of Washington is just I fear that there's a lack of knowledge. There's a lack of information about how crypto really works. And I think it does a disservice to responsible actors like Ripple who are working with governments, with sanctions. Everything that is enforced from a sanction point of view through fiat currency, anything that Ripple does is enforced in the exact same way. And so there's no different level playing field. And I think in some ways, I heard Senator Warren saying things yesterday that felt like it's holding crypto to a different standard and expecting, for example, a blanket ban of all crypto in some of these countries in a way that
what a massive surprise. They're holding crypto to a different standard.
You can still use PayPal. You can still use these, some of these other things, and I don't think we should treat them differently.
Ripple is like Swift, isn't it?
Yes. I mean, Ripple's starting point, kind of our first use case for the technology, the blockchain technology, and the digital asset XRP was to solve that cross-border payments problem.
Right.
Swift is quite antiquated, kind of designed 50 years ago. It's slow. It's expensive, but it is a choke point that the government's used to enforce sanctions. My point is, nothing that Ripple is doing circumvents any of that.
So you're following the sanctions exactly? Like, for example, it's like, 8 banks, but a couple can still trade through it theoretically?
Correct. The sanctions are applied through what I'll call the choke points, the on-ramps and off-ramps. That's true for Swift. That's true for Ripple. Regardless of what I'll call just the plumbing of how things are moving, the choke points are the endpoints. So I think, when I step back and look at this, I think there is a lack of knowledge. I think people need to understand that crypto isn't this kind of black box. It's kind of back from when it was known as Silk Road. The industry has come a long way.
So an oligarch, or let's just say Vladimir Putin, couldn't finance tanks through Bitcoin.
Look, one of the things that people don't realize is there's just not enough liquidity.
Yeah.
Russia used to trade pre-sanctions $50 billion of cross-border kind of transactions per day. Crypto does not have anywhere near that. So, look, in the same way that somebody could be taking wheelbarrows of rubles or the Ukrainian currency across to Poland and things there are ways you could do that, but it's really not significantly dissimilar.
Why are they so obsessed with it then? It's so weird.
I think it's a kind of clickbait. It's a hot item. I think people, it adds a relevance and excitement around some of these things, but I think people don't understand.
Well, we had spoken to Gary Gensler of the Securities and Exchange Commission. I know you saw that interview because we were emailing afterward about it, but he specifically tried to say that he wants to very much focus on what's a security and what is an actual token, a cryptocurrency. I feel like if that's the case and he's holding you to that standard, at some point he's going to have to go after Ether as well, because Ether and Ethereum are those two very...
Now, of course, we can't forget that Joe Biden, and of course, he was to put out the executive order on crypto, and then realistically, or at least to start, I would say, the machine going. And then, of course, the horror of what we're seeing happening in Ukraine right now with the Russian invasion, etc. I'm assuming that might have slowed things down, but at the same time, this is not, and it's becoming clearer and clearer to governments now as well, that this is not something that you just push away. In fact, it's something that is being used for humanitarian efforts towards the Ukrainian citizen, the Ukrainian military, and the government itself. So it will be interesting to see how all of that works regarding crypto regulation. Of course, seeing what's happening with SEC and Ripple as well.
Similar paths, just like XRP and Ripple, are they not?
Look, I think that's absolutely true. I don't want to comment on what they should or shouldn't do. I think as it relates to Ethereum, my view is it's very clear Ethereum's a currency. It's very clear XRP is a currency, and that the SEC. I mean, he was interviewed yesterday. Gary Gensler was, or maybe it was even this morning, and commented that, hey, we're going to lose some cases. This is the definition of regulation by enforcement.
He was going to lose. You think he was saying he's going to lose your case?
I don't know what he was saying. I think but he did say, hey, we're going to lose some, and we're okay with that. That's the definition.
Where are you on the case? Let's get an update.
The quick update, on Monday was the last day of expert testimony, expert depositions, et cetera. And so the case continues to move forward. We're expecting some decisions from the court, sooner rather than later as it relates to a couple of decisions before the court. But look, it's moved slowly. I think Gary Gensler has continued to kind of go with a narrative that crypto is the Wild West. It's not the Wild West. Are there bad actors? Yes, there's bad actors in all parts of...
Let's just keep in mind that one of the most primary stories that we've been covering on Web3 lately is about Heather Morgan, aka Ras Al Khan, aka the self-proclaimed Crocodile of Wall Street. Of course, we've seen the DOJ go after them. This is not by any means a safe haven. I'm not saying, of course, that Heather Morgan and Ilya Lichtenstein are, of course, that we don't know yet. Everything is alleged, everything is being accused, and of course we'll be seeing more on that information over the next weeks. But that's what we're saying, is that realistically this is the opposite of a safe haven for criminals, because everything is trackable, everything is traceable, and everything is transparent. It might take a bit of time to do the subpoenas and get through the information, but that's the same with any sort of criminal investigation.
Factors in money laundering in
exactly
U.S. dollars.
I found it fascinating from reading the documents for all the stuff they said about how bad it was that you did an unregistered securities. They never say anything bad about your platform. Why is that? I mean, because there's nothing bad.
Well, the irony there is, we were in the SEC's offices. I met with Chairman Clayton. I was meeting with commissioners. No one ever once said, hey, we think XRP is a security. And they look backwards and say, now we think it's all a security. That's a hard argument.
Please come back. Brad Garling.
That being said, looking at financefeeds.com, they have put out the Ripple lawyers expect XRP lawsuit to end before November 18. This was posted today. So they're expecting it to end before the end of this year. The court document suggests that Ripple lawyers expect the SEC, let's put this on a screen that you can see it properly on, expect the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit to be over not before August 26, which raises the likelihood of a summary judgment in September. Discussion over when it will end has been dragging for many months now, as the blockchain company risks missing out on business opportunities while the case lingers and XRP holders await the relisting of the digital asset. It appears to be expecting the lawsuit to end between August 26 and November 18, according to info included in a joint stipulation. Summary judgment in September or settlement before. The letter was filed on February 23rd, and it states that the start date of the class action lawsuit would be August 26, but parties have agreed to start on November 18, 2022. Due to the overlap of factual and legal issues between this case and the SEC action, the parties agree that there are efficiencies in having certain aspects of the SEC action precede certain deadlines in this action. Doing so will reduce the burden on the parties, streamline discovery in this case, and potentially reduce the burden on the court by narrowing the issues in dispute, says the Suzanne E. Nero, attorney at King & Spalding. The argument is that the SEC versus Ripple is in a concurrent litigation that involves many of the same factual and legal questions at the issue in the case. There would be efficiencies in allowing the XRP lawsuit brought forth by the SEC to precede this case. The court document suggests that Ripple lawyers expect the SEC versus Ripple not to be over before August 26. I think the Ripple thinks it wins the SEC case in September, October, and then this class action goes away due to collateral estoppel. Well, it is true that Ripple executives have said that they were not given to the SEC. It does not change the fact that settlement is statistically the most likely outcome for the XRP lawsuit. And my guess is, realistically, what they really want at this point is just to have this sorted over with, so that, of course, XRP can continue to actually build out what they want to. That being said, what do you think is going to happen here? We'd love to hear your take in the comments below. This is the Web3 channel, covering everything happening from crypto, NFT, metaverse news. For anything on that, subscribe. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next Web3 video.